Figured if we're going to be doing this a while longer, we may as well make something fun out of it, right?
If you're just joining us, we were just putting in the chat where you're from so everybody can see the different schools and the different people that are here. So if you haven't, just put in the school that you're currently working at so we just know where you're coming from. Feel free to do that. We have a Sir John Moore.
Yeah. Hi, Alicia Shank.
Hey, Alicia.
Hi,
Alicia,
Sally.
Alicia, I think Hank should make an appearance soon.
Yes. Put a picture in the chat, please.
Yep.
Hey, and
Hi,
Rod.
Sarah.
Yep, you got to talk about Rod. He's at his home school in Kamoka.
You've raised the bar. The Thursday crew are going to have to up their visual game. Oh boy, it's on now.
And we've got our Thamesville Mel.
Yep, it's Queenie. I was Colonel Cameron, I suppose, if we're going back.
Looking at some names, it looks like we've got some Indian Creek teachers. Sally, you went there and you taught there? I didn't know that.
Riverview Raider.
Yeah, I should say I'm still a Raider.
Isn't that right? Like your home? I taught at Winston Churchill for 15 years, and that's just feels like home, right? Like that's your Winston Churchill Bulldogs.
Okay, well, I'm going to get us started if that's all right. It's 2 o'clock and it's gorgeous outside, so I don't want to monopolize any more time than needed. So welcome. We're the primary crew. We're here to talk about primary questions, seesaw questions, really anything that comes up. We've got a new updated look. We're trying it out. We're going to call ourselves Tuesday Talks. So let us know what you think. Our hosts, same as always, myself, Samantha Van Hooft, Jana Vlasic, and Nicole Hooper. And, well, I'll save the special guest teacher for a little bit, so hang on. And we will start with our land acknowledgement.
Oops, hold on a second.
We acknowledge that the land on which we are gathered is part of the traditional territory of the Chippewa, Odawa, Potawatomi, and Delaware nations. These indigenous nations, known as the Anishinaabeg and the Napo, agreed through their ancestral languages to the mutual sharing of the land with obligations and responsibilities to the environment. Today, these responsibilities and obligations extend to all peoples.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. So today, we're going to do a few things. We're going to check in, see how everyone's doing. We're going to try something new that we got to try out the other day. So you guys are going to be our little guinea pigs, and I think you're going to love it, hopefully. We're going to answer some questions. One of them was emailed to us, so we're going to get to that one first, and then we will answer any other questions that arise. And then we have a guest teacher. Her name's Cindy Buckner. So hi, Cindy. She's going to show us some pretty cool stuff that I'm really, really excited about. So if we want to go ahead and get started with that.
Awesome. So we know that trying something new can be scary. But one of my teacher friends that are in this area, this is something that she said to me this week. She said, you know, we're all in this together. New learning can be scary, but it's easier knowing that we're not alone. Because it's right. We're all doing this new. Nobody knows how things are going to work. And we tried out these breakout rooms, and that's what we're going to do now. So what Rod is going to do is when we are ready for all of this and once I describe this, you're going to be put into a breakout room automatically. Your screen is going to go off for a minute. That's okay. And then you're going to go into a breakout room. It's almost like, hey, who's going to join me in the room? You don't know till you get there.
And
then
you might be thinking, what's happening?
You will, because we thought the same thing yesterday.
Yeah.
And all we want you to do, we're going to start really simple. Just share one success that you've had since we've last met, or in the last week if you didn't join us last week. Just something, what is something that you're feeling really good about? It might be like connecting with parents. It might be a new activity that you tried. It can be anything. It could be something personal. It doesn't even matter. Maybe you got out and walked 5K after not being able to walk for days, right? Anything at all. After the set time, the room will automatically close. Again, you'll wonder where you are, and then you come back here automatically, so you don't have to do anything. Rod's going to do that for us. Correct, Rod?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
All
I will
right.
also let people know there's a button. If you're having difficulty with audio or video, there's a button at the bottom of the screen that says, I need help or something like that, or call for help or something. If you hit that button, I'll get an alert and I can sort of jump in and sort of give you a hand. And I'll let you know if you're not already familiar with the camera and microphone tool, they're in the bottom left-hand corner, and you're encouraged to sort of use those to meet face-to-face. And to see everybody else in the meeting room, if you don't already know about it, there's a button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen that allows you to have what's called a gallery view. So you'll see a whole bunch of little people there. But I've got you broken right now into groups of 3 and 4, if that works.
Perfect.
That is perfect. Thanks, Rod.
And how long do you want to have this little meeting go for?
What do you think, Jana and Nicole? Like 3 minutes?
I would say 3 minutes too. That was kind of the number that came to my head.
3 is pretty quick. So do quick introductions when
I
you
guess
get to
if
the
we
room.
have, what do we have? 4 people, Rod? At
Yeah.
least give
Yeah.
each everybody a
maybe 5
minute.
minutes? Yeah.
Okay.
Let's make it 5. And
Perfect.
then
All right.
I'll bring you all back at the end of that 5 minutes. And if anybody comes late, they might randomly just show up in your room if that's okay.
Okay.
Someone just
Do I
fell
have to
off.
stop screen share?
No, you're good. I think I'm just going to move one person here to balance this off. And you should all go disappear to your rooms now. I'll see you back here in about 5 minutes and a half, okay?
Hey,
So
Natalie,
just so
hi.
everybody knows, you come back from those meetings muted. So if you're saying anything, we can't hear you. You have to hit that little microphone button to be speaking in this group again.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
All right. Hey, I know they're all starting to come in now. There we go. Everyone's back. Well, what did you think? How did it go?
That was cool.
Sherry?
Yeah, that was cool. That was fun.
Something new, right?
Yeah, for sure. And
Does anybody
nice
have?
talking
I'm sorry,
to a
Sherry.
couple nice talking to a couple different people. I learned how to do something in that short period of time too. So that was
Oh,
awesome.
that's cool.
Perfect.
That's what we want. We want you guys learning and sharing from each other, right? Does anybody want to share something that they shared with the smaller group that you'd be willing to share with the larger group? Just a success that you've had this week?
I was telling them I made a movie for my kids. I used clips. So I just asked the parents to send me, each of the parents to send me a picture of their child with their pad or doing something fun. And then I put it into a little quick little movie for them and sent it to them as a surprise on Friday. So they got to see each other in this little movie.
That's awesome.
That is great. That's the second one I've heard this week. Another one I heard was they had each of their students give them a picture of a sign of spring. And they put a video together of all the different signs of spring. And then as a surprise, they sent it. So those are such neat and engaging ways. The kids get to see each other. The kids get to see you. That's so important right now.
I had one parent say they played it over and over just to watch all the kids again. So that was really nice.
Yeah.
I could see that for sure. Anybody else? Nobody?
You should know we're all getting really good at this awkward wait time business.
We're trying.
Turns out when you do remote learning, you have to be really good at it. So
And Sally, you're making people jealous with your beautiful outdoor scene. Gwen said something about living vicariously through your outdoor picture right now. All right, let's move on then.
Okay. So we had one kind of wondering email to us. So I think we were going to try and address that first. And then any other pressing things, if you wanted to put them in the chat, we can do that as well. And then we're going to get to our guest teacher and what she has to share, Cindy. So the question we were wondering about was around using Google Meet and connecting with Seesaw and stuff. So I don't know, Nicole, is that kind of where you want to jump in and show us your magic?
It is. And you know what? I think Rod, the magic of Rod, joined me up with someone that was perfect for this.
Oh, perfect.
Because in our group, Sarah was sharing about a Google Meet that she did. So I asked Sarah if she would want to walk us all through how to set up a Google Meet and how to actually put it into Seesaw for the families and the students to know about. So Sarah. All right, I'm changing my screen, Sarah, so you tell me where to go. Well, I mean, on Google.
Okay.
Yay, Sarah! I'm sorry, I just have to say something right now before you start, Sarah. Way to represent Colonel Cameron today. Cindy and Sarah both teach there. Loving it. Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
All right. Is the...
Click add to Chrome to continue.
So we
Can
have
you
no
see
screen
my-
sharing yet, just so that you know.
Oh, so when I come back, does it not?
No.
It must kick me out of screen share.
That's right. You start over again.
Okay.
So while she's pulling that up, I also wanted to thank the person who emailed us. So although I'm going to keep the person's name anonymous unless they choose to want to share themselves, we really love that you're emailing us your questions and your concerns or your suggestions. So this was a suggestion that came to us, and it was just about wanting to connect with the kids. And you know, I think it's incredibly timely. I had 3 different conversations going at the same time yesterday about this exact topic. I got an email from a teacher, I got a Facebook Messenger from a retired principal, and they're all saying that with the extension of the close, that it's going to be more necessary than ever that we just try to reach out visually with our kids. And no sooner did I have that conversation, this email pops into my inbox and it says, hey, I really want to try a Google Meet through Seesaw. Can we talk about this? And I was like, yes, we can. And now Sarah, she's going to talk us through this. So I'm excited for this for you guys.
All right, Sarah, let's do this. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, so if you go to the waffle, yep. And then you go to Google Meets or Meet. And then join or start meeting. And then you can create a code or a nickname. So sometimes I've made it like Miss Hater 2020, or I don't know if you can put spaces though.
Okay.
And then continue. And then join now. And then I copy just the website where it says meet.google.com. I just copy that. And then I make an announcement on Seesaw and send it that way. I've been using Seesaw and Classroom, so they're kind of getting used to both.
So you go to send an announcement.
Yep.
Okay, and then that send announcement is going to go where?
I send it to both my family and students because both have been on, depending on who's on at that time, kind of thing.
So just your message about connecting with each other, and then you're going to paste your meet in there, is that right?
Yep.
And then you just send that now, and you would put what else, like your time?
Yep, the time. That's about it. They're pretty used to it by now. At the beginning, there was pretty low expectations, but they're used to logging on now.
So you would send that through. All right, it's as simple as that then, right?
Yep. And then if you go to, can you go back, Nicole, to, I just want to show something if you have Google Classroom.
I don't have a classroom set up,
No.
but I can go to, you want me to go into one of them?
Yeah.
I don't have any students connected.
That's okay. And if you click in the settings one on the top right.
Okay, where am I going here? Right here?
It's like a wheel, the top right. Yep.
Yep.
And then scroll down. And then if you click where it says visible to students, and you toggle that on, where it says Meet, Google Meet, and then visible to students.
Yep.
If you toggle that on.
Oh, but I don't have students, so it won't do that, right?
Cool. So if you were to toggle it on and then push save,
yeah,
at the top of the stream, it would show that link and they can just click on it from there too.
Okay, so it will send it through to their email that way?
It won't send an email, it will just have a link at the top of the stream on Classroom.
Okay. So if you have a Google Classroom set up.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Sarah.
No problem.
That was great. Does anybody have any questions around that specific topic before we move on to others? Feel free to put in the chat or come on the camera or the mic. How have your Google Meets gone, Sarah? They've been really good?
Yeah, they're getting better. My one student, you know him, Sam, he just keeps talking and unmuting. You know exactly who I'm talking about.
So I have a question about that then. Can you mute students?
You can, but they can unmute it.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Ellie, you had a question?
I just want to know, do kids need to have their email then to be able to do this through Seesaw? That's my concern, is I don't know that all my kids have their LKDSB.com emails good to go. Initially, when you're setting up the Google Meet, do you have to enter those emails?
We have someone in the chat here saying you can use parent emails or any Gmail will work.
Okay, so for my grade 3 students, I would need to then get them set up on their LKDSB.com emails then.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yes, please do.
No, you do not have to. If you're doing it through Seesaw, you can just post that link. They do not need to have their emails attached to it at all. It's way less frustration for parents and for
Perfect. Okay, perfect. That was my big question, is I don't want it to be something else for parents to have to navigate. I'd like it just to be click and go.
And my daughter,
yeah.
I was just going to say, my daughter did it the other day for the first time, and she's not set up at all. And she's like, we just had to click the link for her. It brought her right to it. So it was really easy.
Perfect.
And that's great to be cognizant of too. Like parents, we don't want them feeling more overwhelmed, right, than they already are feeling. And I know I can speak as a current homeschooler of children. Like if you give me another link or another thing to sign into, it's a lot. So it's good if you're thinking about those kinds of things.
And Sam, you hit the nail on the head with the person that emailed this, and that's exactly what they said. With Lexia being started this week, with all of this new learning, we want it to be simple. We want it to be seamless. Just a click, a link, join if you want. It's not going to be content, just something like come in and chat and talk, smile at your friends, right? Tell something that you've been doing in the time that you're off. And that's a really great way to start. I know, Christy was in my group, right? And Christy was saying that you had done one of these already this week, or you were trying it this week.
I've sent the instructions to the families, but we're doing it tomorrow.
Awesome.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Yeah,
Just
so I'm
before
not
we,
sure if I
okay,
did it
perfect.
right, but we'll see.
Will you let us know on Tuesday when you come back next week?
Sure.
And I think, Kelly, you said you're going to try one as well?
And I would like to try a community circle, maybe the first week of May. So maybe not this week because we just launched Lexia like you were talking about, but maybe next week, end of the week, we'll try one.
That's a great idea, community circle.
So thanks for the info, Jana.
You're welcome. I just wanted to also put Nicole on the spot, if that's okay, Nicole, because you shared something earlier today that I think might be really valuable for some of the people who just aren't ready to do it on their own. You had made a suggestion earlier today. Could you speak to that?
So if you are comfortable with a Google Meet and you know how to set it up and you know how valuable it is for your kids and how much they love it, it might be worth offering to one of your colleagues or friends and setting it up and just letting them know you'll team it with them. You'll get it all set up, and it really helps that way, right? So that you kind of dip your toes into it, but yet someone else is helping set it up.
And on the flip side, if you're not comfortable with it, but you know there's somebody, maybe a partner you have or somebody in your building that has done one, maybe reach out to them and say, hey, I really want to try this. Will you facilitate it with me for the first time? And then that way you're not alone in it and that we're learning together.
That's how I did it. I actually reached out, Cindy and I, who's going to be joining us today, we did it together the other night because I hadn't done one either. And so we thought, let's just figure this out together. So, and she actually talked me through it, so it was awesome. All right. Is there any more questions that anyone has that are pressing right now that they want to put in the chat or come off mic and ask before we head over to our guest teacher learning?
Sam, the other thing I was going to say, if you are doing it for the first time, I know I took a group of 5 students that I reached out to and connected with, and these were a bit older students, but it might be worth it if you know a couple families a little better than others and you want to reach out to them and just to simply try it out, and then you kind of get your toe wet on how it works and then offer it out to everybody. You could do that too.
That's a great idea. Actually, I feel like a week or two ago, we had someone share that idea on a drop-in. She said she had just tried, it was home codes. She was trying home codes with just maybe 5 people first, just to get familiar with it before diving into the whole class. So, okay. Well, I don't see any chats or any questions yet, and don't hesitate to put anything in there if you do think of something. And you might have some questions as we roll through Cindy's content too. So we will try and field those as best as possible. But I think if we're ready, Cindy, are you ready out there? Do you want to take over the screen?
Yep, I think I remember how.
Okay.
We'll
So
see.
I'll give a bit of context here as Cindy's taking over the screen and sharing. So Cindy, are you grade 1 or 1-2? I can't remember.
It's a 1-2.
A 1-2. Okay.
Yeah.
And so she's doing, I think, amazing things with her Seesaw account. But as we were chatting the other night, she was just telling some of the things to me, and I thought these are all great ideas that other people might love to hear about or see. And I think once we see other people doing things, it sparks us to make something of our own or do something different with it. So she's just going to share a few things that she had shown me. And you guys are welcome to ask questions, and we will do our best to answer them for you. So I think, are we going to start with the,
Did you want the week at the glance?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So I started, just like we were talking about, with a little video, which I was terrified to do. My house is a state of chaos at any point in time of the day. So I'm not really there yet with live videos. I only do pre-recorded right now. So Sam wanted me to go back and kind of show you the process. So if I go back, for me it's easiest to go back using the calendar if I remember when I did something. So if I go back to my first video, I had my 9-year-old teach me how to do clips, Apple clips, and this is what I did just as my check-in video our first week. And I think I have the sound turned on.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Yep.
Hi guys, I hope everybody's happy and healthy. This is going to be our first week of virtual learning, so learning on our computers or our tablets or wherever you might be. First of all, I want to say that I miss you. I hope everybody at home is keeping busy, you're not driving your parents crazy. Every week I want to do a little video to tell you what we'll be doing during the week, and then you'll get some Seesaw activities that you can look up and try and complete for me, okay? So this weekend there's a special holiday that's going to be happening. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a little bit of a hint.
Did you guess Easter? If so, you're right.
All of our activities this week are going to have a little bit of an Easter theme. So just work hard, try your hardest. If you have any questions or your parents have any questions, then you can always send me a message and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Before I send you off to start your activities, there's somebody else that wanted to say hello.
Hello everyone, it's Mrs. Osborne here. Just wanted to say hello and how much I've missed you. Hope you're all staying safe at home and enjoying this extra time we get to have with our family. Hope when this is all over, we'll see you all soon. Take care.
Okay guys, hop to it and I will talk to you next week. See ya!
So that was me in a corner in my bedroom on the floor. I think I stopped and re-recorded about 15 times. And
I love it. And I love that you just like, you put yourself out there and like, that's what your kids want to see, right? Like that's what they're missing.
Yeah. So the parent response was huge. They said they loved the bunny ears and kids checked in just to see the video. So it kind of pushed me to do a few more. So it kind of developed into like a storyline. And then, so you can see that was the first one. It was also a chance to get other staff members. So Emily Osborne is a EA that works in my room. So it gave her a chance to check in too. And then so it developed into a bit of a storyline.
Can I ask a question, Cindy?
Yeah.
So what did you use to create that first video there?
So it was a combination. So the bunny ears and stuff is Snapchat.
Okay.
And just downloading the video. And then Apple Clips, it's so easy once you kind of get a handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just put the Snapchat and the live recording right in.
But if, for example, like if I'm not a Snapchatter, if I didn't have Snapchat or if I wasn't familiar with Apple Clips, like you could create just something like this using the Seesaw video, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can, and like Emily sent me her little video clip. She just texted me the clip. And then I can just put it right in from there too.
Yeah, awesome. I also love what you're doing with this calendar tool here. We need to talk about that when you're done.
Oh, the calendar tool?
Yeah.
Okay. Just gotta make sure that I have the right video. I think this is the video. I'm hoping this is the video.
It's a virtual class.
Wrong week. That would be week 3.
It looks.
See, I don't even know what date it is. There we go. So this would be week 4.
Or virtual classroom, week 4, I think. I'm not quite sure. I've lost track. Previously, Mrs. Buckner was working in her laboratory when an experiment went terribly wrong and shrunk her down to the size of a bug.
Hey you. Yeah, you kid. Have you seen a tiny human anywhere about the size of a little bug?
Hey, Mr. Meerkat, I'm right down here.
Hey little buddy. Hey, found these berries for you. Think they might work? Just down a little couple of them and see how you do.
Thanks, friend. Whoa! 2 days later. Hey guys, so after I took those berries from the meerkat, not only did they make me big, but they gave me superpowers. So now me and Grit have teamed up with the Incredibles and we're just beating up some bad guys right now, taking care of the city. So I'm just going to take a break to tell you about our week. Number 1, we're going to start a new reading program called Lexia. So I want you to log into that and try that out. For math, we're going to wrap up time and start talking about money. For science, we're going to still work with Nina and the neurons and we're going to learn more about structures. And then for our writing, we're going to take our superhero identities that we created last week and we're going to talk about our superpowers and why they're important. So I hope everybody had a good weekend and we'll keep working through this week and I'll talk to you later. See ya.
I sure hope I do get to see that tiny human again someday. Have a great week, everybody.
So that was from week 1 to week 4. I constantly get messages from staff members poking fun at me, but I figure it's for 6 and 7-year-olds, so they buy in pretty quick. And if parents are making fun of you, they're probably making fun of you about other things anyway, so give them a fun one to make fun of me about.
You know, something that really resonated with me yesterday when we met Cindy and you were showing was you said that you have kids logging in just to see this and that they might not be doing anything else during the week, but they are logging in to see those.
So what I've seen since posting these videos, and Jana shared the Signs of Spring slideshow is something I do on Fridays with a different theme, is I've gone from 9 out of 21 kids to about 15 out of 21 making some kind of contact.
I love it too because, like, I'm thinking I have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I get messages from the teacher in whatever app they're using, and some of them I don't even open or I don't get to. But if my daughter was to log on and see that video, not only is it gonna hook her right away, but then it's gonna be like, Mom, Mrs. Buckner told me that we have to be working on our money. And I'm gonna be like, oh, right, yep, that's what we're supposed to be doing. So, you know, she's kind of accountable for it too, which is really good because, you know, the kids don't see all the emails that the teachers send to the parents all the time, but it makes them really accountable for like what's happening, and they can be kind of like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be involved. I want to try it, or that kind of thing. So that's awesome.
And Cindy, I know just watching that put a huge smile on my face the whole time I was watching it. So I can just imagine what you're doing for those students and how you're making them feel too. And putting yourself out there and just showing how creative you can be and how just to engage them, right? Just to hook them and engage them and actually connect with them in that way. It's so phenomenal. So kudos to you.
So just a little, like the beginning screens with the earth that you can see right now and all the backgrounds are straight out of Apple Clips. Like, it required me to do nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta talk about something that's happening in the chat here. So Sally just came up with an idea about how, Cindy, you need a lockbox for those videos. Once they complete the work, the video is unleashed. And then Alicia said, encourage them to do the work before unleashing the video. And then we had Gwendolyn say, oh my gosh, that's great. How do we do that? So just throwing it out there, does anybody have an idea on how we could do something like that? Or something we could try? That's really fun. Rod says, I love the idea. Some tools have permissions that can be customized. So maybe we should add this lockbox idea to our to-do list and see if we can figure out something around that, because that sounds super fun. Okay. All right. See where we're at. Okay. Can you chat with me about what you're doing with this calendar button here? Because I think that's something worth talking about.
Sure. So normally when we're in Seesaw, it's showing up like this, which is just all the journal entries from the kids. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking back, because we have 1,000,001 things going on in our Seesaws, I find that if you click on the calendar right here, it gives you the month overview. So if you know, like, I have a calendar printed out at home that I write down everything I've scheduled for the week, because I always schedule my Seesaw activities the Friday before. If I'm looking for a particular activity or something, then I can just click on the date and it brings up all the things that happened on that date.
Cool.
So if I click on my Mondays, I can find my Monday videos, not that one because it was Easter weekend, but I can find those activities in there, and it's a whole lot easier than trying to like go through the side here where you're looking through your files and going through things and other things are popping up.
So those numbers on the bottom, so it's like Monday the 13th is the date, the numbers underneath are the amount of submitted items.
Yep, the things that were posted that day.
Cool.
So you can see that Wednesdays and Thursdays are more productive than Fridays.
That's how I feel also. So
Yep.
So Cindy, one wondering in the chat there from Sally said, one question they'd have is, what might be the issue from stopping the kids from getting the work done? So if they're able to log in and see the videos every week, what have you contemplated as a potential obstacle to them doing the work the rest of the week?
I've reached out to all of my parents. I have to say I have an amazing group of parents that communicate a lot with me. Some of them are external things, like there's a mom doing her own courses online through the college right now and doesn't necessarily have the flexibility and time. Other kids, attention issues. They just, one thing is enough for them that day. It's all kid dependent.
What I heard though you say was that you're reaching out and you're touching base with them. So even though they're not getting the schoolwork completed, you are touching base and you are still connecting with them, and that's so important.
Yep, there was actually one family that requested the home packages from the school board, and in the last week and a half has said that they're now trying to integrate some Seesaw activities, so kind of swinging them over too.
That's the pace piece, right?
Yeah.
We have to be cognizant of that, and there's so many extraneous issues that people could be worried about and obstacles that are in their way that we don't know about. And so the fact that they are logging on for you and are seeing those videos and it's putting a smile on their faces, that's huge.
I think we need to give credit to the fact that although it's not our job to teach parents, we have to give some value to parents need support and help learning Seesaw too, because it's everyday stuff for us, but it's not everyday stuff for them.
That's a great point.
that is
Sherry,
a great point.
did you want to add to something to there? Oh, I just saw Sherry unmuted. I wonder if Sherry was going to add something there.
Nope.
Cindy, can we cycle back to what you just talked about parent tutorials?
Yep.
Because I know that's something that you kind of showed us the other day, and I thought this might be a helpful tip to share with something you've done around that.
Sure. So if I go to my test kid, I've set up a file right on the right here, and it's actually called resources. In here is where they've got all of their class codes. So this is the announcement I put out about Lexia that's got my email. Anything that I think they might have to go back to and refer to is all collected in here. So Sam, did you want like one of the tutorials or did you want this writing example?
Whichever one you think, whatever one you think parents really appreciated the most.
Well, my school put out a Google form to ask parents for feedback, and one of the feedbacks was that they didn't really understand what was expected of an activity. So after that, I put this one together. So it just says I'm going to do some writing as if I was a kid and what I expect from the kids after feedback. So we did a slideshow on color houses, and our principal didn't have a color house. So then I turned that into a writing activity of tell me what color house she should be and why. So I said this would be an example of what they would do first. So they'd write their sentence, draw a picture. Then using the recording tool, because the majority of my kids can't read, I would record back that I think they should use uppercase at the beginning and punctuation. They need to use their power words list for spelling and to add the why. Why do you think it should be that color? So then when they go over, I highlighted, this is what I mean with that first piece of feedback. These are all the power words in purple. And then the green is the extra addition of why they should be that color. So after they listen to my recording, they should go back and correct all these things. And then I added the power words list and our writing checklist to it. Because I had a lot of parents that were just doing the work for their kids, which wasn't really helping with the writing.
Mm-hmm. And that's great, right? Because like we as educators know what we're looking for, but not everybody does. And so parents sometimes just need guidance around like, what is it that you want or are expecting my student to do, especially when you do that send back function, right? Like, what are you looking for when students are asked to send back or resubmit their work?
I think as parents too, we automatically want to help our kids and we want to jump in, and seeing our kids struggle isn't easy.
Yeah.
So I kind of want parents to see the struggle is okay, because the end result will get them there. Did you want
That's
one of the
awesome.
other ones too?
Sure, why not?
Why not?
You're here.
What was number 1? So here's an example of like basic. How do you even get to an activity? And so I just screenshot everything, like literally you click here. This is what comes up. Now you have to click on add response. And it kind of spoon fed it all the way through from the start to finish.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Because some parents would be reluctant or feel vulnerable to even ask you to do that, right? So even one speaking up benefits the whole group because they're like, oh, thank you. That's so helpful.
The one biggest thing I'll say right now is working through Apple versus Android devices. If you have families using Android devices, I recommend that they use the web browser to go onto Seesaw and not the app, because the app for Android doesn't give you features like the draft button to save work, and it caused a lot of headaches with my families.
That's great. Thanks. Okay. I'm trying to be cognizant of time and limited sunshine hours out there. Is there anything that anybody wants to ask Cindy around what she's done, or any other questions for us to answer? I secretly roped in Cindy for another session. She's smiling because she's like, oh my gosh, she said she's never answering my text messages ever again. But she's got some super fun stuff she's going to share next Tuesday that involves like cross-curricular work and science, and like I'm just super pumped about it. But I didn't want to rush through it today. I wanted to make sure that we really spent the time today with like what she had to share here. So any outstanding questions that haven't been answered?
Sam, can I jump in for a minute?
Yes, absolutely.
Cindy, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing real. So as I've been listening here, it's like, I think this is the real work that we have to engage in all the time, because not everyone's it's not working perfectly for everyone. And how do we do those small steps? So thanks for going slow through it. Because I know I listened and I got a lot out of what you were sharing, that whole struggle, support, and those ongoing adjustments that need to be made, Cindy. I just think that is something that, we sometimes gloss over in some of our work, but thanks for taking the time to actually unpack that and help for me understand that better, but I'm sure it was helpful for many. But
thanks, Ben.
I think also the point of sharing these ideas, I mean, you don't have to go out and do it all at once, right? Cindy was saying this is like it's a process, right? All of this learning together, it's not like a big event that she does all at once. It's been a process. You saw her first week video with just her sitting on her bedroom floor, and that's what it's about, right? If you could take one thing from today's session and just be like, yeah, I can try that, right? This is why we have these sessions. We just want to give you a different kind of sprinkling of all different ideas. Cindy has been great enough to share this with us, and like I share what Ben said, right? Like it's us being real. It's us. The learning is messy, but I think that's what makes it fun, right? It's unnerving sometimes, and we get that too. So yeah, if there's one thing that you think that you could take from something that Cindy or somebody else today shared, that's what we're hoping for in our Tuesday chats. If you have something that you want to share, feel free to reach out to us. And those people in Chatham-Kent, if I know you, you may get a text from me to be our next guest teacher, right? Just sharing ideas, because that's what makes it easier in this process.
Jana, just to go with that, like I can't emphasize that enough. So Sarah Hayter that's on here, I'm sure is tired of all of my text and questions and videos and rants. And Jessie McLaughlin, I've partnered with her. So we co-develop all of our Seesaw activities and we share them all. So she's doing narwhal read alouds and I'm doing elephant and piggy read alouds, and and you just can't function without it.
It's like you're reading my mind, because I think Sherry put it in the text as well, and I think we need to honor that. We asked you guys last Tuesday to try a read aloud. And so Sherry said she tried one this past week and the kids loved it. Sherry, how can I put you on the spot? How did you do it? Did you do it through, we talked about doing it through Adobe. We talked about just turning on the camera and reading the book, a lot of different ways. And that was kind of your challenge from us, was to just try one. And so I think we should honor the last little bit we have left here and just chat about who tried one. Sherry, can you talk first?
Unmute.
I did the good egg, and I just did it actually through Spark Video. So someone else, I think, suggested that last week. So I just did open page and took a screenshot or took a picture of each one. Then I read it, and then I had some comprehension questions for them at the end of it, and they all loved it. It was pretty easy to do, and I think they said they liked hearing my voice again, and it was just something different, a different activity, because they have sort of had the same kind of language activities for a while. So that was just something different on Friday, because Friday it was a PA day. I thought I'll give them something fun to do, and they really, most of them actually did. I think I had about, out of my 20 kids, well, 3 of them are on paper packages. So about out of the 17 kids, I probably had 14 that did all the questions. So that was pretty good.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, I would do it again. I think I'm going to do the bad seed that goes along with the good egg, and so we'll try that again. For
that
sure.
is so great to hear, Sherry.
That's awesome, Sherry.
So Sherry, this was new for you, right? You said with the Adobe. Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what was the level of difficulty you found in navigating with the new app?
Oh, I've used Spark Video before, so I was familiar with Spark Video. That was a really simple, slick way to do it. And the nice thing is, you know, you have to watch on Spark Video too, though, because when you add voice or you're recording, it can only, I think it's like 2 minutes or something like, I forget what the time is, but you've really got to watch when you're reading it that you don't go over it. That's all. But it was easy.
Awesome. Anyone else try one and want to tell us about it?
I have a secret love of read alouds.
Oh, please share.
So I shared mine with Sam. I've now roped my kids in to being some of the voices with me, or they just, do you remember? Or they just take them over, and then we've kind of turned it into a whole escapade with music and sound effects, and it's like my secret to sanity right now.
Yeah, and actually I remember that because I was saying how much more engaging that is, because don't get me wrong, I'm sure our kids are happy to see us, but then when you throw your kids in the mix, like I remember when I was in the classroom and I talked about my kids, the class was like, oh, tell me more. Like they just want to hear all about your children, right? So do you have one of those read alouds open? Someone said share.
Yeah, as long as Ben's not watching the copyright, remember?
No, you're safe. You're in your own little seesaw classroom.
That's right.
You're good to go.
Just let me go to my library. It's doing it this way though, I'm going to tell you right now, is not easy. There's a lot of retakes. There's a lot of words that can't be said.
Oh, and while you're setting that up, I'm just going to share something in the chat here. A teacher I know is using kids as mystery readers to their class. That's such a fun idea. Yeah, mystery readers. So students have a mystery guest.
Theater.
Cool.
Are you ready, Sam?
I'm ready. Yep.
Now showing
Happy Pig Day by Mo Willems, published by Scholastic. Starring Joey and Michaela.
Presented with permission from Access Copyright on behalf of the publisher.
Gerald, I am so happy. Today is the best day of the year.
Today is free ice cream day?
No, today is Happy Pig Day.
Happy Pig Day?
Yes, Happy Pig Day, the day of the pig. It is the best day to have a pig party. It is the best day to sing pig songs. It is the best day to dance big dances. Say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me. Oh. Best day to eat pig food. It is the best day to play pig games.
There's just an idea.
That is amazing. I feel like my kids would watch that 10 times in a row. Like,
how did you add the fun sound clips, Gwendolyn's
Can
asking?
I watch that again? Because
Yeah.
that's amazing. I'm riveted here. I did this. I started dancing.
Yeah, that was good.
See, my
Sorry, Jana, you were asking, how did she add the sounds?
Yeah, we have questions in the chat about how did you add those fun sound clips?
So the stories are made in Apple Clips. So I have them queued on my iPad, and then I just hit play and record it with my phone, and then trim it after. That's why I said, like, this takes a lot of learning and a lot of trial and error to get to this point, and it's not the quickest, most efficient way, but it's my little piece of heaven right now where I'm not pulling my hair out necessarily.
It's also my piece of heaven now because that was amazing.
It was. But so starting slow, starting with just Apple Clips,
Yep.
just the pictures and voiceovers.
Yep, just starting with that, and then we slowly brought in some more sound effects, and then really I gotta give credit to my kids because they roll with it too, and I'm like, what are we gonna put here? And then they come up with ideas too.
Mm-hmm. And Jana, even if we back that up, oh, sorry, Nicole.
I was just going to say, and I think that's great because you are also a parent at home. So when you're engaging in that stuff, what your own children are learning is invaluable too, right? So you're balancing the best of both worlds doing it like that.
And again, it's the sharing piece. So they do take longer to do. So when I put some together and then Jesse puts some together and then it all becomes a library, then you can all pull from each other. And they don't want to hear me all the time.
Yeah.
I'm tired of my own voice because I'm recording everything.
Yeah. I just wanted to connect to what Jana said before we leave, is that you said starting with Apple Clips and just like pictures and voiceovers, but even before then, you can start in the Seesaw app just with like you holding a book and talking, or you taking screenshots of the pages and putting it in the drawing tool and adding your voice over, like that kind of thing, right? Like if because I know there's been some requests for Apple Clips training and things, which I definitely want to get to, but if you're not there yet, you could start back in just a Seesaw tool. Yeah, okay.
And there's a question here, Cindy, did you use Seesaw before this year?
Yes. So I've used Seesaw 4 or 5 years maybe. Which was
so there again is that process, right?
Yeah.
Starting simple. This isn't something that you would have jumped into right away if you'd never used it, but this is the where it's limitless, where it could go, right? With the work and the time. Like you've put a lot of time into this.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, it does make it easier because once you have that under your belt, then everything is just so much easier the next year, and you know how to train kids to use it, and then pretty much all the staff members at my school use it. So from K to 8, they've got that learning.
You know, and all this just makes me think from engaging in all of this remote learning, like how's it going to impact your teaching when you go back to the classroom, right? With all these skills that you're learning and how you can engage kids and the tools that you can use and how they could use those tools back in the classroom is pretty powerful.
And Sari was just sharing, and I know we're out of time, guys, so we could start or continue this conversation next Tuesday. Shadow Puppet sends it right to Seesaw, the journal.
Yes,
so
it does.
that's something that we can dig into next Tuesday.
And Adobe Spark 2 sends it right to the journal.
There we go.
Awesome. Cindy, I have to say huge thanks because like you are a wealth of information, and I really honestly appreciate you joining us because you shared so much stuff, like big stuff, little stuff, just practical tips, helpful ideas. Like it was really great. So I'm looking forward to when you come next week and share some more.
Yay!
And if there's anyone who wants to share as well, just send us an email or let us know, because There are so many phenomenal ideas out there, and it is so rich when we each can share with each other. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. It's just great for you to put yourself out there and share with others what you're doing, and it helps everybody too.
It sure does. And Phenomenal doesn't need to be this big complex show, right? Like anything, any idea that you would love to share, please do that. I think this is incredible. You guys have been great. We've gone through over our time actually. Do we have that screen, Nicole, for those who want to jump in and just tell us what they want, more of, what they want less of? It's a quick QR code that we've created.
Yeah, other than clips, we know that's on our list, but we really do design these sessions around what you guys want. So please tell us, and then we know what to do our homework on. Like that's what it is. So thanks for coming, everyone. And thanks to Sarah for sharing about the Google Meets as well. All right.
I look forward to hearing what you guys are going to try. So our challenge to you every week is just to try one thing new. If that's something that can work, or maybe it's not something new, but it's a process that you're working on. And we look forward to hearing you guys on Tuesday.
Yes. Bye, everybody.
Enjoy this beautiful day.